Well, the travel industry is still finding its footing in the post-pandemic times, and the new reality is now taking shape.
So joining us now for a look is travel expert and founder of the Travelogist.
Travelogist, I believe.
Travelogist. Sorry, I butchered that one, Nick. Travelogist. I've never heard of that term. I've heard of, like, you know, another kind of gist. But Alain, Robert, thank you for joining us. So let's talk about this post-pandemic restriction period. Consumer confidence is certainly back, and airlines are taking note of that. So that's going to impact the price of a ticket and, of course, people trying to make last-minute trips, like for March break coming up.
It is. So consumer, like you said, consumer confidence is back. So it's a question of supply and demand. So last year at this time, not all protocols were lifted because we still had those in place, and they only lifted in October 2022. So people were a little bit more timid about traveling by fear that things would shut down again. So the typical trend was that they were booking 6 to 8 weeks before. That was pretty common. But now we're back to the old trends where people are planning ahead of time. So it's a bit harder to find those good deals, but there's still some out there, but you just have to be crafty in your approach.
You know, Alain, the other thing we've been talking a lot about here on CP24 Breakfast and Beyond, of course, is the issues at the airports. And while people may well be booking tickets, there are some significant labor issues that may be sort of causing people to maybe be a little concerned about this. What are your thoughts on where the issues are, or what's happening at airports, et cetera, sort of making sure the entire industry can move the traffic it needs to?
Right. So right now, the supply and demand is just not, the demand is not back to what pre-pandemic levels were, because the operational structure is not able to support it. So Air Canada, for instance, is anticipating that if they had to meet the demand currently, that they would probably have to hire about 5,000 pilots over the next 5 years. So that means there's a lot of pain points around. So there are ways to go about that, where you can make your experience a little bit smoother. So what you probably want to do is you probably want to use secondary airports if you can, so Billy Bishop instead of YYZ, where things run a bit more efficiently. You can also sign on to the YYZ Express. So when you go on, so to avoid those queues at the airport for the check-in, you might want to have a carry-on, or you might want to sign up with the YYZ Express. So YYZ Express, you can go on the website. It's a free service. Reserve your slot to go and pass the queue and go in a special lane to be able to go through security. So those small things are ways to get around the pain points that are here now. But the labor shortage will last for a while. So maybe traveling with a carry-on and doing as much as you can to avoid the bad on-ground experience would probably be something to look out for.
Yeah, you know, Pearson Airport kind of got voted the worst airline recently. Not airline, airport. So paying attention to what's happening on the ground at the place you're flying to is important. Alain, before we let you go, though, you know, it's been so long since many people have traveled. Many people are saying that this year might be their first trip post-pandemic era. What should they be doing? Should they be booking directly with airlines? Because we've seen certain airlines during that travel chaos, they weren't very responsive to their passengers. Or is it best to go through a travel agent? Is it better to use Expedia? What's kind of the safest protocol right now?
So if you wanted to have the safest protocol, you could book it on your own and do it with the airline directly, is what we would advise. Whenever there's an intermediate partner, like an online travel agency, you do get the long queues when you wait for responses for when you have travel disruptions, or you can work with a travel advisor who could really be hands-on and be able to help you out during travel disruptions.
Okay, Alain Robert, travel expert and travelogist, thank you so much for your time and your tips this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
One
Alain.
last tip.
Yes.
Buy AirTags. The investment will pay off.
AirTags. Yeah, good point.